start and open with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, start with our council activity reports. I didn't have any committee meetings that I went to, but we did do the 2 business tours. First at Bill Fuchs Manufacturing out there, and then at Avon Plastics last week. Great to see how both of those are growing, and genuinely did not realize how much stuff was done down there at Bill Fuchs's place, so that's great. Tomorrow we have the brewery tour. Looking forward to that one, despite somebody's poor planning on the timing. Couldn't get it later in the afternoon.
Works for me.
So otherwise, we also had, I was joined on
Thursday.
I wanted to say Friday, but I knew that wasn't right. Thursday over at the brewery for, joined with Paul and Neil for the Minnesota Association of Small Cities. They had their quarterly meeting here in Painesville, hosted at the brewery. Day 1, day 2 on Friday was up at Hilltop. They all had quite amazing things to report. Local city mayor said that he comes down here for the brewery at some occasion and thinks that we're doing a great job with the city, so I didn't let that go too far into my head, but the words were said. So, yeah, otherwise we just did a small presentation, and the business really wasn't for Painesville, but we stuck around and watched for a little bit. I wasn't able to stay for the presentation, so I'll let Neil and Paul talk about those if they made those. So, Paul, turning it down to you.
Yeah, on last Monday, we had a planning board meeting, and on Tuesday was Stearns County Municipal League up in St. Martin. And then along with the tour at Avon Plastics, and then also Minnesota Association for Small Cities on Thursday. So that's all I have.
Megan.
I just had the Avon tour, so it was a light couple of weeks for me.
All right. Neil.
We did the Bill Fuchs Manufacturing Tour, and the press covered that very nice. Even had some pictures of us smiling. Wednesday the 15th, the Green Roof had their monthly meeting. Biggest thing there is all the sidewalk superintendents watching the liquor store get done, which was entertaining. They had a fundraiser Thursday night, Oktoberfest, and quite a few, 150 people, I guess, so they were happy about that. The 21st, last Tuesday, Stearns County League at St. Martin. Game warden talked about biggest thing was next year the rifles be able to be used deer hunting statewide, and he talked quite a bit about that. And Thursday was the small city fall forum at the brewery. Basically, they talked about what the state legislation hasn't been doing. Not very much last year, so wasn't a lot to report on. And Friday I went to the support of the Lions at their chili supper.
Were you able to stick around for the presentations at the thing on Friday? They were doing a cannabis presentation, and I forget what the other one was.
I didn't go Friday.
Okay. Or I mean on Thursday night for the.
I didn't go back.
Okay. All right. Donna.
All right, I attended the BFM manufacturing tour and just the trunk or treat that was Saturday downtown. That was all I've done.
All right. Department head reports. Dan.
We're having an early Public Works Board meeting in November 3rd, so that the guys can get out, go deer hunting. We start tree trimming on the 3rd. We're a little short-handed, so the guys are doing some extra work. We'll just make it work for a few weeks. We've got job applications out there. We've gotten a few in. If anybody knows anybody that wants to plow snow or wants to become a part of our Public Works family, certainly send them in our direction. We've got a big hole in the back of our new building right now. It's a nice looking hole. Tomorrow it'll be filled up with a garage door. We're pretty excited about that. We get the electrician in, get that working, and we'll start taking our trucks out on the road. We've had 2 of them DOT'd, the other 2 are in Albany right now getting finished up. And we get all of our trucks out running and get a little practice in them before the weather turns on us. And just kind of working our way towards that direction and looking forward to some new staff to bring in to help us out.
Have we run into any issues with the trucks so far and getting them inspected and up and running?
No, first 2 went through a DOT, clean as a whistle. Changed the oil in them, was all we had to do.
Okay. Any questions for Dan? Okay, Tarek.
All right, well, it was already mentioned about the manufacturing month. As you know, we're wrapping it up tomorrow with our last tour, which will be the brewery. I attended the safety board meeting, which was, departmental here. And then we had a library board meeting as well, went over the revised plans. In addition to that, I also attended online. It was hosted by the state of Minnesota. It was a library construction grant, so I'm not sure if we're really suitable for that grant. There's not many funds to go around, and there are a lot more requirements in it that I'm not sure if we're going to go by or not. I think Paul already mentioned the planning board, and the main purpose of the planning board was to set 2 public hearings for change in the ordinance, which will be coming up at the next planning board. It'll be a public hearing. And then finally, the Stearns County Municipal League, which I think Neil, you already mentioned what it was discussed, the DNR. And that's it.
Before I forget about it, I did get a message this last week with the suggestion, I don't know how well it would work, but it was about daycare and the Rose Center, so I'll float it out while the 2 people are here, about whether or not there'd be any interest in the Rose or Green Roof Center and using that as a daycare facility during the daytime. I didn't get a chance to respond to it because it's somebody I see in person quite regularly and thought I'd just chat with them in person, but there's some food for thought for those who regularly interact with that center and those who are involved in daycare.
All right.
With that, is there anybody here for the open forum? Praise be, my children don't want to speak up against me today. All right, moving to the adoption of the consent agenda includes the minutes on page 1. The vouchers, we've got an update. Those are totaling $380,274.56. The zoning member appointments and the surplus bid results. Motion to approve, or does anybody want something moved?
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Brick, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Hersberg. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Before I forget, we are pulling new business C from the agenda. Tarek tells me that's not quite ready to go yet. And then we've got the certification of past due bills. That's at a 6:30 public hearing, so I'm going to skip that until after that meeting, and then we'll come back. So Tarek, on the Lewis Industries stuff on page 6 of our agenda.
Yeah, with Lewis Industries, we have a couple things going on. As you recall from previous meetings, we're doing what we call a business subsidy agreement, which would include the tax abatement, and we have to add the other incentives or subsidies they're getting from the state, which is the Minnesota Investment Fund loan, or MIF loan, plus the Job Creation Fund credits they're getting as well. So those 3 programs, plus we're doing an EDAP loan, and plus the county is also doing a tax abatement and also a loan through the county as well. So all those are lumped into one called the Business Subsidy Agreement. There are 4 parties involved in the agreement. It's the city, the county, and then Lewis Industries has 2 companies. One is called Lewis LLC, which is the owner of the land, and Lewis Industries Inc., which is actually the company. So we had to put all those into the agreement, and the reason why there was a delay, of course, the natural process of how things work and between us and the county and our process. So now finally we have the final documents ready to go, and you'll see 2 resolutions there. One is for the tax abatement, one is for the loan, and of course then we have the tax abatement agreement, which of course county will do the same, and then we have the EDAP loan as well. So quite a few things going on here, but it all relates to Lewis Industries and the expansion plan they're doing right now.
And am I to understand your implication that multiple governments and attorneys slow things down?
No, they each had their own timeline and process. Yeah.
All right, so this is something we've discussed kind of ad nauseum. I think we've had multiple public hearings on this. Certainly, if anybody's got questions for Tarek, let's talk about it. Otherwise, I would entertain motions on these resolutions.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2025-34 as stated on the action sheet.
Motion by Brick to approve Resolution 2534. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen. Any further discussion on that?
Did they ask the school or decided not to, or?
If the school decides to participate, which I think they did, it'll be a separate agreement with the school district.
Thank you.
All right. Hearing no other discussion then, all in favor of approving the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Carries. All right. On the economic loan agreement, Resolution 2535.
I'll make the motion to approve the EDA loan agreement, resolution 2025-35.
There's a motion by Hersberg. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brick. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. Airport FBO hangar. Looking down to Dan or Chuck on this one.
Yeah, I can take this one. As we talked about at the last council meeting, the FBO project involves two different federal loans or federal grants for the project. So therefore, there's two different state companion grants. All the grants are 95% federal, 2.5% state, and then 2.5% local. We approved the first state one last meeting, so this is just approving the other state companion grant to go with the federal grant for it. So.
Chuck, I know we've talked about it before, especially when we decided to move forward with this project, but the question came up to me the other day, so I'll just ask you again. The reason why we're moving forward with the FBO instead of doing something like lengthening the runway is the funds we had were a use it or lose it fund, correct?
Yeah, we had those special funds that were dedicated to the airport several years ago, or a few years ago. They built up to the point, and some of the allowable costs are for like a building such as an FBO building. Plus, in order to lengthen the runway, we'd have to go through some pretty extensive planning and actually be able to show the justification to be able to do that.
Well, it was brought up, so I think at one of the next airport board meetings, we should at least have that on the agenda to be floated and figure out where we go.
Absolutely.
But for right now, we aren't here, so we're looking for a motion to approve the state fund grant agreement, Resolution 2532. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the second State of Minnesota State Airports Fund Grant Agreement between the City of Paynesville and the Minnesota Department of Transportation, and Resolution 2025-32 approving State Airport Fund Grant Agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation.
Motion by Brick. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Potter. Any further discussion?
I was just looking at this, and at the end of the day, all it's gonna cost the city, 2.5%, $7,706.
Yeah.
It's quite a bargain.
Weren't we all in looking at like 30-some thousand?
The 7,000 would be the portion for this grant.
Oh,
Right.
Total is 22 or 23,000, 23.
Right, so we're
Still
still
pretty-
looking at a building
pretty
for,
reasonable.
yeah, pennies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Any further discussion? Hearing none, then calling the question. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. On to the Glacial Lakes Extension, paying that bill.
Yeah, in your packet is a copy of pay request 2 for work completed during the month of September. The trail is pretty much complete for the winter. They'll have to do some touch-up seeding probably next spring. We'll see how the seed out there establishes, but Yeah, the work is pretty much complete for the year. So in your packet is a copy of pay request 2 for $80,299.66.
I'll make the motion to approve payment estimate number 2 for $80,299.66 payable to Land Pride Construction.
I'll second.
Motion by Hersberg, seconded by Brick, as stated on the action sheet. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. All right. Tarek, you want to talk to us about a new squad?
Yep, I know Cody's out on training today, so he couldn't make it. But yeah, as you know, we were having trouble with one of the recent squads that we purchased. It's been in and out of the shop at least 4 times. You know, I think the fuel pump itself has been replaced more than 3 times. And then lastly, it reached a point where, you know, it just completely stopped one day, and they brought it in and to the dealership because locally they didn't know what was going on with it. But it's still under warranty, and it's going to have the engine replaced. And when that's going to happen, they don't know. But the chief does not feel confident that this should be an ongoing vehicle that we keep, just due to all the problems we're having with it. So he is hoping to be able to replace this one. Obviously, when it gets the new engine, put it up for sale, and hopefully we can get a good price back for it since it was covered under warranty anyway. But we got 2 state bid quotes, one from Chevrolet and one from Ford, and Ford is quite a bit cheaper. I think 12,000 or something cheaper. And, you know, the recommendation is to purchase the new vehicle, and of course, there is enough money or more than enough money in the 2 funds, and it will be replenished once the vehicle that's getting repaired now is sold off.
Since the chief's not here to advocate for this, should we buy him a hybrid in his absence?
Yeah, I have one question on
That'd be
this.
great.
Go ahead, Paul.
Why wouldn't they look for a 2025 instead of 26? Did you know the 25 would be a lot cheaper?
That's a good Paul question. My guess is that they're just not available. I know in the
It's a
past.
good Sean answer, too. No, that's about right. I would guess that would be about it, but why? I guess it never hurts to look to see if they were available first.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
usually at the end of the model year, there's a fire sale to get rid of them.
I just recall when we bought the Durangos, and of course that was peak COVID when we bought these. 1040 was out 18 months or something like that on orders, trying to get them in. So, I don't know.
Right now, we're all 3 months on the Ford and 6 months on the Tahoe. So even if we were to place an order, you can't get it for at least 3 months. End of January is the
End of
delivery.
January, and the other one is in March.
End of March.
Gotcha.
They have no idea when the engine's gonna be here for the,
No, they don't. They just know that the dealer in St. Cloud got approval to replace the engine. Now there's just a matter of getting all the parts in they need to.
probably a shortage because of the situation. How many miles are on this Durango?
I think it was 40 or so, some
I
thousand.
wanted to say 50 some is what he told me, but
Okay.
don't quote me on it. It's around that number.
So it should have fair value once it's new engine, I mean.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll get a good price for it, but we don't want to keep it just because of the problems.
What the chief told me is that it works fine as an everyday vehicle, but if you drive it like a cop car, then you have problems. So,
It's understandable.
Tragedy.
well, that's what we get for buying a Fiat.
So you don't like European cars?
Just saying, Fiats aren't known for their reliability.
True, good point.
So I don't know how the council wants to proceed. This is something we talked to the chief about a little bit at our working session, so normally I'd want him to be here to advocate for this, but this isn't new to us. He's talked to us about it before. I agree that we should do the Ford instead of the Tahoe. I can't justify spending an additional 13 grand.
Yeah.
And if we approve this tonight, we're 3 months out.
Yep, we'll need to place the order pretty quick here, but yeah, it's 3 months out.
So we're gonna go without 2 squads for 3 months?
Well, right now, we just have the chief's car and one extra Durango squad that we have now. So those two.
Yeah,
Well, the chief will also be on sabbatical for a while, so.
it's not a good situation with 5 policemen.
Yep, that's why we want to get this one ordered as soon as we can.
I agree.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of a 2026 Ford Interceptor from 1040 Ford and the upfitting of a new squad car through Guardian Fleet Supply state bids in the amount of $58,030.49 in a surplus to 2023 Dodge Durango.
Tarek, you just want to make a record of where where these funds are coming from?
Yeah, the two funds, here, I'll pull up on here, actually. Oh, it's the Police Capital Improvement Fund and the Forfeiture Fund.
It's money that's already designated for these purposes. It's not anything that's being taken from reserves or anything like that, so.
Yeah, the combined fund has almost 82,000 between the two.
All right, so there's a motion by Thielen. Is there a second? As stated on the action sheet.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Hersberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, Public Works, we need some tires.
Yeah, in your packet, there's quotes for 2 different places for a set of loader tires. We knew when we bought the machine, the tires weren't great. I was hoping they could make it through the first year, but I think if we're gonna have any traction moving snow, we're gonna have to replace them. So we went to 2 companies locally and got bids. Regal Tire seemed to have the best bid and availability. So I would recommend we go with Regal Tire. And it was approved by the Public Works Board.
Okay.
And the monies will come out of the money we had left over from the equipment, original equipment fund.
All right.
All right, so there's a recommendation to approve the purchase of 4 new front-end loader tires from Regal Tire in the amount of $74.36. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion to make that purchase.
Motion by Hersberg, as stated on the action sheet. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, we are pulling C. We've got our meeting schedules at the end of the agenda. Some meeting reports, liquor store report, police department. It's 6:23. We've got a public hearing at 6:30. We'll take about a 7-minute recess. All right.
Leave the other one here.
It is 6:30 again, so we'll open back up. The only thing left on our agenda tonight is the public hearing for the certification of past due bills. Something we do every year. We have a number of bills that we go through, the refuse, the water and sewer, the mowing, and miscellaneous things, snow shoveling and such. Take a look at things that haven't been paid, and if need be, certify those to the property taxes. Water and sewer on here, along with mowing miscellaneous. I did have a question for Kristen while we were recessed, which is that there's one property that looks like it might have a new owner. She shared that that will get certified to the old owner, which is unfortunate, but it's what we have to do. And hopefully they can get in touch with their realtor and get things sorted out. Sometimes it just gets lost in the mail. Otherwise, we've got Jeff Bertram here from West Central. Jeff, anything you want to tell us about the trash bills? Otherwise, everything looks in order.
Pretty
so.
straight up. I don't know if public hearing, if there's something else. We're here to,
Right.
first to say thank you for the partnership and then answer any questions we can. And then if we can resolve them before we certify them. And when I say we certify them, before the city certifies them, we're certainly open to doing that. Stacy and Belinda do the legwork for this. Stacy from our office, Belinda from the city, so.
Right, I'm not seeing anybody, but is there anybody here for the public hearing? Okay. Well, then we'll close that. With that, we'd be looking at a motion to certify the delinquent garbage, water and sewer, snow removal, and mowing to the county auditor to be placed on real estate taxes.
So moved.
Motion by Brick, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hersberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. And with that, everyone, we are adjourned. Thank you.